Yo, what's up guys, it's Chris over at Breezy's Gaming Corner, and in today's video, we're going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be doing a tier list on the entire Fallout Mainline series, so I'm not going to be covering the spin-offs or Fallout 4's DLC just because I didn't play them. I know Far Harbor is really great, I just haven't gotten back around to it. I played Fallout 4 at launch in 2015, and I loved it while I was playing it. I put 111 plus hours into it, and that's not even just a pun off of the vault. Here's a screenshot of my PlayStation playtime. I genuinely put like 111 hours into it.
111 hours.
After I played it, I was just a little disappointed with it, so I never went back to the DLC, especially because they front-loaded a lot of the DLC with like workshop expansions, and that just wasn't what I was looking for. And when they finally got around to Far Harbor, my interest was just gone. And I'm also not going to be talking about the Courier's Stash or the Gunrunner's Arsenal, because I don't really consider those like true expansions to Fallout New Vegas. They're really minor, and if I were to rank them, they would be going into D tier. And I know we're not doing spin-offs, but just for shits and giggles, if I were to be talking about Fallout Tactics, it would probably go in A tier. I think it's underrated, overhated, and it's just okay. It's not one of the best, not one of the worst. Brotherhood of Steel, obvious D tier, you know what I mean? It's just not a good game, not a good Fallout game. I did not enjoy it, but we're not going to be talking about those games. And as always, if you like today's video, be sure to drop a like as it greatly helps the channel out a ton. And if you're into weekly honest gaming content, consider subscribing. I post every Friday and I'd love to have you guys there. Alright, so without any further ado, let's get right into this tier list, starting with the first Fallout. I would have to say that Fallout is probably going to go into A tier, and the reason why I'm gonna be putting it into A tier is because there are a lot of cool things in the game that translate over to Fallout 2, but it does just feel a little bit more dated. There's a time limit, although I mean I never found it to be very intrusive. It's a very forgiving time limit, but it will activate a fail-safe or a fail state if you're not actively trying to do what you gotta do, essentially. And there is no take-all button. I know that you can fix a lot of the stuff with mods. I played the vanilla version, so I wouldn't really know. But based off the vanilla version, I think it's an A tier game. Alright, so going on to Fallout 2, this one's easy. This is God tier. It took everything that Fallout did and just did it better. Fallout was a very short game. I think it's one of the shortest in the series, to be honest. At least it feels that way to me. And Fallout 2 is like one of the longest in the series. This game took me a long time to complete, but the options, they're really crazy. You can literally become a porn star. You can kill children, and if you kill the children, you'll actually get a child killer perk that gives you debuffs, and some companions won't even be cool with you after you do that. The role-playing in Fallout 2 is like none other in the series. It's peak Fallout. That's the best that I could describe it. It's got some of the funniest moments. It's just iconic, and you actually get to see the birth of Jet. New Reno is a crazy place. It's literally one of my favorite locations in the entire series. There's really not much more I can say. This game is a banger, and it deserves to be in God tier in my opinion. Alright, jump into Fallout 3. I'm thinking Fallout 3 is a solid S tier. And yes, I know, you're putting Fallout 3 above the original Fallout. The writing isn't better, you know what I mean? There's a lot to argue that the original Fallout is better than Fallout 3, but I'm really just going off my personal feelings here rather than what I know is objectively better. Fallout 3 is one of the first Fallouts I played, and it's actually the game that got me back into giving New Vegas a second try, because I actually first started with New Vegas, didn't like it, and then gave 3 a try. fell in love with it. Amazing atmosphere, really cool side quests, and I actually really did enjoy a lot of the DLC for this game as well. You know what I mean? The game's got some issues, but I think it's a good game, so I'm putting it in S tier. We're gonna go with Broken Steel next. I mean, I gotta go D tier. The story is really just not there. It's really just there to increase the level cap and allow you to play the game after you finish base game. Because for whatever reason, in the original base game of Fallout 3, once the game ends, the game ends. So Broken Steel kind of lets you explore the wasteland and just kind of do your thing a little bit more after the game is over. And it does add a little bit of a story, but it's not good, forgettable, but it is cool that it adds being able to come back into the wasteland after finishing it. I just think that should have been in the game from the jump, and they essentially sold you something that should have been free. Not really down with that, so D tier. Now this is going to be my first controversial pick of this video. Mothership Zeta gets a lot of hate. I don't even know. I want to be fair, but I also just really love this DLC. I'm putting it God tier. It's definitely not better than Fallout 2, so definitely stays behind, but I really loved it. You get to essentially go to that crashed alien ship that you could find in the base game, but if you have the DLC, a ship will come and beam you up into space. And yeah, it might not be the most like glamorous of locations, but towards the very end, when you're inside that little room inside the ship and you're looking down at Earth and you fire the laser, dude, that is so badass. And you're fighting aliens, and it's just like, I loved it. As a kid, I loved it. I knew people weren't the biggest fan of it, but even as an adult, knowing that this was like one of the most disliked DLCs of Fallout 3, it's just a guilty pleasure for me. So it's gonna go God tier. I really love this DLC. Let me know if I'm crazy for that in the comments below, but I'm gonna stand on it. I personally really love it. If you don't, I get it, but that's just my opinion. Alright, so Fallout 3 Operation Anchorage. I am also gonna put that in D tier. Oh, look at this guy just saying that he was all about the Fallout 3 DLCs. Only D tier is filled with Fallout 3 DLCs. I know, but Operation Anchorage just did not do it for me. Like, I wasn't a fan of the snow setting. The story is alright. I mean, it's really forgettable. Like, I'm really just trying to recall a lot of Operation Anchorage, and I just can't. I've played the DLC multiple times, but it's forgettable. So it's gotta go D tier. Alright, so next up is going to be the Pitt. I think I'm gonna put this up in S tier with Fallout 3. You go to Pittsburgh, and it's just not really doing too well. Like, I remember there being some scary sections. The story was solid from what I remember. Been a while since I played it, but I've played it at least 3 or 4 times. I really enjoyed it. I think it's gotta go S tier, to be completely honest with you. Point Lookout, that's gonna go S tier in front of the Pitt. I think that Point Lookout is probably objectively Fallout 3's best DLC, because it gives you pretty much another mini region to explore. I haven't played Far Harbor, but I would imagine it's like Fallout 3's Far Harbor. There's these like inbred dudes that chase you around, and you're in like a swampy land, and I don't really remember the story of these DLCs too much, but Point Lookout was my favorite. Like, I just remember it being the most different besides Mothership Zeta, but I'm a sucker for aliens, so obviously, me personally, I'm gonna put Mothership Zeta above Point Lookout, but objectively speaking, Point Lookout is the better DLC. But this is not me being objective, this is a tier list, so you know what I mean? I feel like I'm kind of allowed to get a little biased here. Alright, so next is Fallout New Vegas. Now, before, I would have put Fallout New Vegas right there behind Fallout 3 in S tier. But after last year, I took a trip out to Colorado, and on the way there, I stopped through Good Springs, and I got to meet Easy Pete. And it was just such a surreal experience, and going back to play the game after that, and especially after playing the first 2 games, this is the true Fallout 3 that we never got, and I gotta put more respect on its name, you know what I mean? It's going God tier right behind Fallout 2. That's where it deserves to be. You could argue that it should be, you know what I mean, on the other side of Fallout 2. I personally think Fallout 2 has better writing, and New Vegas is really only as good as it is because it continues stuff from Fallout 2. You know what I mean? So I'm giving credit where credit is due to the OG of the series, and that's just how I'm gonna do that. Going into the DLCs is a different story. Dead Money is a weird DLC. It's really different because you have this like bomb strapped to your neck, and if you get close to radios, it'll just insta-kill you, and you don't really have to deal with that a lot, but it gets annoying. I really did not like it, and the toxic gas was annoying. It was so different and so cool, and it's really conflicting, but I think I'm gonna put it in A tier behind the original Fallout. By the time it was over, I was glad it was over. So you know what I mean? That's gotta be telling in and of itself. Honest Heart, I'm also gonna be putting an A tier behind Dead Money. I just didn't really like the Zion, like, area. I really thought that the Graham dude, I think his name's Jacob Graham, Joseph Graham, I forgot his name, but he's the guy that's wrapped all bandaged up. He was super cool, and I really liked the lore that he had that tied him back to Caesar's Legion. That was super dope. I just was not really the biggest fan of that area that you explore, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna put that in A tier behind Dead Money because I actually enjoyed the Sierra Madre more than Zion National Park. All right, so next is gonna be Lonesome Road. I think Lonesome Road is gonna be S tier. Is it better than the Pit and better than Point Lookout? I think it's better than the Pit. I think it's better than the Pit. I don't think it's better than Point Lookout. It's got a cool story. It kind of ties up the Courier's quest line and just narrative as a whole. And there was actually another Courier. There's a whole thing going on there. It's a mystery. They add this thing where you can remote detonate nukes. That was pretty cool. There is a very difficult section though, where you're on this little road and there's just a shit ton of death claws, and that was annoying, but it was such a cool DLC and I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna keep it behind Point Lookout because I genuinely think Point Lookout is like one of my favorite locations in the series. But Lonesome Road is really close. Like, these are pretty much tied. Old World Blues, God tier. But it's going... do I want to put it in... Yeah, you know what? Mothership Zeta, you are barely in God tier, so you're definitely going to be bottom God tier. This DLC just has it all. It's got humor. It's pretty dark at times. Giant rad scorpions, that was pretty cool. I liked the region. Big Mountain was just really intriguing to me, and I liked exploring it, especially that little like cavern area. That was super cool. I don't really have too much more to say about it. I really enjoyed it. You know what I mean? It's just the type of thing that tickles that little itch in me for goofy sci-fi, and the plot twist at the end was genuinely good. Fallout 4. So this is a tricky one because I think that I was too tough on Fallout 4 back in 2015 when I originally played it. I gave it another chance recently, probably about a month ago. I It's tough. The game is really good. I think it's got some of the best combat in the series. 76 is probably better, but I have not played 76. I'm one of those people where I prefer my Fallout single player, and that's just that. I've heard it's gotten a lot better. I respect it. If you love 76, I respect that, but I just really am not the biggest fan of it, so did not play it. Fallout 4, other than 76, has the best gunplay in the series. And originally, back in 2015, I remember at first thinking that the new perk system was cool, but then later on just preferring the original system. But after replaying the, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and the original 2 so many times, when I did give this new system a try, like a month or two ago, it was refreshing to say the least, and I do enjoy it. So I think I was too rough on that. Really, my only complaint, and this is the biggest thing that is damning this game right now, is the performance. And I think that they'll probably address it in the anniversary edition. They better, because they're charging more money and trying to sell you the game again. Like, Bethesda has really damaged how I view them as a company for that move. I just got to get that out there. I'm just not the biggest fan of their business practices at this point, but I love the Fallout series, so I'm still gonna talk about it, but I'm getting off track. Fallout 4 is D tier. The performance is dog shit, and ultra wide update that they did for the next gen update, all they did was stretch it out, and it's like, it's not true ultra wide, and they broke so many of the mods. When I went in to try and make the game work properly, it was either downgrade it or don't really mod it too heavily. And that is because they broke the game so badly that modders essentially abandoned it on Nexus mods. And that is just absolutely insane to me. Creations could also play a role. Maybe a lot of the major mods could be found in Creations. I didn't really dabble with Creations too much, but I think that the performance of this game in 2025 is laughable, and it's honestly sad, because if Bethesda would have handled the post-release of Fallout 4 a little better, if they would have started even with Far Harbor, they could have pulled my ass back in, but they front-loaded all this bullshit and then give you Far Harbor, you know what I mean? Their business practices are not the most sensible, but it is what it is, you know what I mean? I wasn't the biggest fan of Fallout 4 as it is. I will stick to the originals, or the Bethesda originals, New Vegas, and 3. I don't have to play Fallout 4. Now, if they do fix a lot of those issues in the Anniversary Edition, I will probably wait until it's on like a deep sale in a couple of years, get it for like $10, because I am not going to keep giving Bethesda all this fucking money when they are literally doing like the laziest updates and re-releases, and like, they're toxic, bro. They're so toxic, and I'm not cool with it. But yeah, anyways, that is the tier list. Let me take one last look at it and just kind of make sure it looks right. You know what? Okay, so Fallout 4 is gonna end up above the DLCs. I think it's at least fair enough to do that, you know what I mean? That's the tier list, guys. So I'd say probably most controversial one on the list is going to be Mothership Zeta. Definitely let me know what you think about that in the comments below. And as always, if you liked today's video, be sure to drop a like, as it greatly helps the channel out a ton. And if you're into weekly honest gaming content, consider subscribing, as I post every Friday and I would love to have you guys there. If you guys would like more off the cuff stuff that's not really scripted, just me kind of talking about how I feel about the game and just rambling, let me know. I would love to do videos like that, but if you're more into the lore style content, let me know as well. This channel is community based, and I am willing to do whatever you guys want to watch. So anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. And again, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.